Hello, I'm for the Empty Space Blue Fireball channel. Today I'm going to talk about something a little different. Again, this time we're going to talk about somebody that only commented once and then left like the little coward that he is. Probably because he is a vapor. And his YouTube name is LaFox, or LaFaux, or whatever, however the heck you're supposed to say it. If I pronounced it wrong, change it. So this is what it looks like now because I replied to him and told him about the problem with his argument. I'll tell you guys in a minute, but first I want you to see what he wrote. This is what he wrote. He said, Samsung phones exploded too, Mr. Nitwit. Trying to sound like Simon, that ain't gonna work. Now, here's the problem with what he was saying. I looked into this and I found out more about the Samsung Note 7 and the S7 Edge, which is going to appear on screen right now. Now this comes from the Washington Post, and I'll leave a link to that in the description as well. But this is a pretty interesting one, so let's read it. See, this incident took place in 2017. This was about a year after that happened, so you could see it's around the time to start writing it. And, well, now that we got that out of the way, let's get started. It says here, right here, it got worse. A U.S. government recall followed on September 12th, being in 2017. A second came in October when the replacement units had the same incendiary issues. Analysts estimated the setback would cost the company $17 billion in sales, adding that if the crisis didn't sink Samsung's mobile business, it would almost certainly kill the Note line. But now, just 18 months later, it seems that Samsung and the rest of the world have shrugged off the crisis. Its next phone, the Galaxy S9, set to debut on Sunday in Barcelona, is expected to be a foil to Apple's iPhone X. Most of the buzz about it centers on the quality of its camera rather than the integrity of its battery. To prevent it from happening again, Samsung set up a battery advisory group that included academics from Cambridge University, Stanford University, and the University of California. I'm not going to laugh for any more reasons, as well as battery consultancy firms. It also added new testing to find points of failure, to disassemble batteries, ensure against leaks, and make a visual inspection of each battery. So as you can see here, they're actually working to fix these problems for future phones. And it goes on to say, since the Note 7, Samsung has had two major smartphone launches for the Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus, and for the Note 8, neither has had similar battery problems. So yeah, they're fixing these problems. Now look, a lot of people who know me will say that I am not, how you say, tech savvy, okay? I mean, I had to get help just to upload these videos to YouTube because it's so hard for me to do. I honestly am doing this because I am bored out of my skull. There's really no other reason. And it's even in the tagline of my channel. This is what happens when I get bored. I play good games and I state the obvious. And the obvious today is that vape pens are bad. Whether you agree or not, they haven't worked very well to fix them. Here, I'll give you an example. As you can see here, this is what happens when a vape pen explodes in your backpack. Her body got burned pretty badly, and this was a recent one too, in December. In case you're wondering where I got it from, I decided to just put it up here. I'll leave a link in the description, of course. I mean, you know that I would do that, so you know I would do that. And this is what happens right here when it explodes in your pocket. Apparently it's also acidic as well, and this is what happens. I'm not even sure if I could actually show this. I really don't know, but I guess I'll find out. Well, you gotta do a test and experimentation. You analyze the data and you draw a conclusion. If you get the reference, let me know. Some are probably disgusted right now after seeing that. So here, I'll give you something cool to look at for about a second. Alright, now let's keep going. So, I just got this message right now while I was recording this. As you can see, it's from the YouTube name William Joannes. He says that it's the same as any other device like a phone. Now, I'm not entirely sure if anybody is sane enough to try to use a phone as a vape. If you are one of those people, seek professional help right now. Alright, I'm just saying. And the type of phones that do explode were recalled, as I showed earlier. So, that argument's kind of out of the question. How many people die from falling asleep in a bed when smoking? I have no clue, in all honesty. I couldn't even find a statistic for that. It says here that vaping is a life-saving product. No, it's not, as I'm going to mention in a little bit. He says that it helps smokers to make the switch. Not really. It still gives you nicotine, and you're still technically addicted to smoking. It's just called something different because of the water in it as well. They still have similar chemicals in it, like nicotine as well, so it's not really much of a help. And then it says here 1,300 people die every day from smoking in America, and this is every single day. And I agree, this is a big problem, and I think that people who smoke are stupid people who should go seek help right now if they ever watch this. And the same goes for vaping too. If you're a vapor, seek some help. And he apparently has been one for 3 years and no explosions. Now he's trying to say that these explosions didn't happen, otherwise why else would he type this? But I'm going to show you another source showing more. This is my source, and it's also pretty recent too. So here, we can read together. It says here, what are the side effects of e-cigarettes and are they safe? It is not known how safe or how unsafe these products are as of September of 2019, which saw a rash of nearly 500 cases of respiratory illness linked to vaping throughout the U.S. according to the CDC, which reports symptoms to include cough, chest pain, nausea, shortness of breath, vomiting, or diarrhea as of September. Six people had died of vaping lung disease. The exact component of vape fluid had not been identified as of that time, but illness seems to affect users of both nicotine and cannabis e-cigarettes. You know what's really interesting? I'm just going to spew a little fun fact here. I actually didn't know that cannabis e-cigarettes were a thing. See, even I can learn something new. I'm able to admit that I didn't know something. I just have to be proven wrong on a topic in order to say that. Anyway, let's go to the next one. It says here, while investigation is ongoing, consider not using e-cigarette products. The CDC advised as of September 6th. They further state, regardless of the ongoing investigation, youth, young adults, and women who are pregnant should not use e-cigarette products. Now, they said not to smoke while you were pregnant either. At least they did to my mother. Whether or not she listened, I actually have no clue. I really don't. I'm assuming that she did because I came out as smart as I did, so that's a pretty interesting little bit of information. Yeah, I could definitely say that with pride. So anyway, does everybody have that all read for themselves? This way they don't say, oh, you misquoted it or something like that. And then it turns out they read it and it's like, it's the same thing that I said before, just said differently. Don't know why people who vape are so stupid. Well, I know why, because they vape, but that's a different story altogether. I can go more into that in another video. But for now, why don't we just keep on going, shall we? Nicotine is considered to be very addictive, and that seems to be a cause for concern. Low doses may cause nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, and eye irritation. High doses of nicotine may cause tachycardia, high blood pressure, seizures, coma, and death. Moreover, the FDA reported detecting ethylene glycol in some of the e-cigarettes and cancer-causing substances called nitrosamines in others. In addition, some e-cigarettes have caught fire and or exploded because of faulty batteries or malfunctioning battery chargers. So, yeah. Honestly, I'll tell you about it in a little bit. But for now, why don't we just keep on going? Because it's almost over. It took several decades to determine problems associated with tobacco use. It is likely that it will also take some time and study to determine how safe or unsafe e-cigarettes are. Experts claim that in order to stop cigarette smoking, it is probably better to use studied material such as nicotine gum, nicotine patches, and or counseling than to use e-cigarettes. They also suggest people do not start smoking e-cigarettes for fun, for quitting any tobacco products. But yet there are a bunch of stupid people out there that do, and there are also some vaping defenders, which I will probably laugh at to this day. I mean, hey, if people want to smoke e-cigarettes and suffer the consequences, even though, I mean, they know them at this point. Everybody knows this at this point. So yeah, if they're going to be dumb enough to do it, I guess that's kind of what their dumbass gets for being so stupid. I mean, I don't like it, I don't approve of doing that, and it's really horrible, but I guess it is what it is, as some people would say. The CDC published a report about the number of calls to poison centers involving e-cigarettes, liquids containing nicotine. The proportion of calls to poison centers increased from 0.3% in 2010 to 41.7% as of February of 2014. The bulk of these sales are related to small children that open the liquid nicotine containers. The liquid nicotine containers are not childproof. They appeal to young children because of the candy and fruit flavors. They can cause vomiting and eye irritation. Wow. I mean, I thought that cigarette companies and vaping companies couldn't stoop any lower, but now they're testing these products, which they know they're unsafe, on children. This is why people are stupid. This is why they're so stupid. People who vape, they're idiots. You fall for those type of things, you're an idiot. So there you have it. I mean, what will come in the near future? Will vaping be fixed? Will people finally get their heads out of their asses? Will people finally start showing brains? Probably not in my century. I'm just messing around. There are a lot of people out there that don't vape. I mean, my friends are, of course, one of them. My family, to my knowledge. And they're all really good people. But the people out there that do vape and want to have the risk of exploding and dying, well, all I can really say to them is, good luck.